Okay, dear friends, we will start the lectures of cell and molecular biology, lecture number 18. Last time we have seen tumor, sarcoma virus, and RNA virus. Now we will continue uh, the study of viruses. Now we will see the HIV virus, human immunovirus, or we can say that AIDS virus, the virus that causes immunodeficiency in human called as human immunodeficiency virus or HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, and the syndrome which causes due to this virus is called as AIDS, that is AIDS, means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So viruses are not classified as living organisms. They possess some characteristics of living things, but they lack the ability to grow or replicate on their own. Viruses are obligate intracellular parasites, unable to replicate without the aid of the living host cell. By itself, a virus is simply a storage form of genetic material. No metabolic activity takes place without the virus, and nothing even suggests that it is alive. However, when it invades a suitable host cell, it commandeers some of the existing cellular machinery for its own use. For example, all viruses use the protein synthesizing apparatus that exist in cells in order to make additional copies of the proteins for new virus parasite, so new virus particles or new virus agents, whatever it may be. And the energy to accomplish these metabolic events comes from the host cells. A virus is a true parasite, taking whatever it needs from the host cell in order to replicate itself. So human immunovirus is not an organism, but it's just a parasite having a storage material of DNA or likewise material which is used to replicate or make its own copies. And this virus infects the other living beings and take the benefit of the machinery of the cells of living beings and make its own copies instead to make the copies of that particular host cell, and therefore it is a parasite. So it causes deficiency of the material which he utilizes for his own in the host cell. In order for viruses to reproduce, they must infect a cell, means viruses needs to infect some cells. Then and then they can uh, make their own copies, otherwise they will die. Viruses are not technically alive. They are like a brain with no body. Simply, in order to make new viruses, they must hijack a cell and use it to make new viruses. Once HIV binds to a cell, it hides HIV DNA inside the cell's DNA. Means HIV DNA lies behind the cell's DNA. Therefore, nobody can observe easily to it. This turns into a sort of HIV factory and replicates itself. This occurs through following steps. Means HIV whenever invade the DNA cell's DNA, the DNA makes copy of HIV, not the DNA of the cells. Means HIV is parasitizing in the cell's DNA in short. So what happens, how it makes copies? First, binding to the host cell. First of all, the virus binds to the host cell. Then, by reverse transcription mechanism, it infects and makes the copies. It infects and makes the copies of its own DNA, virus DNA. Then, integration by masking and blocking reproduction of host cell DNA. Means the copies of the DNA made by the host cell is of HIV, not its own. Then produces HIV copies by transcription and translation. Means in the process of protein synthesis, they take part HIV copies and they make the HIV copies instead of the cell's DNA copies. And in this way, finally, makes new assembly of HIV in the cell and attack again after maturation. So once the assembly is formed in the cell, naturally the cell get die, the parasite die the host cell, and whenever they burst, the all HIV again infect to the another cell after maturation, and in this way the cycle continues to infect the other cells. Now, non-genetic RNA. We have seen the genetic RNA, genetic material. There is non-genetic DNA, non-genetic RNA. This type of RNA is RNA molecule which doesn't act as a genetic material. In certain viruses like RNA viruses and some bacteriophages, where a single or double-stranded RNA molecule acts as a genetic material similar to DNA in a eukaryotic cells. It has ability to self-replicate without DNA. This RNA molecule is a genetic one, whereas in eukaryotic cells and bacteria, RNA doesn't play a role of genetic material. It acts as amino acid carried tRNA or messenger molecule mRNA and some other functions. These RNA molecules are non-genetic one. RNA is a polymer of ribonucleotides held together by 3'5' phosphodiester bridges. Although RNA has certain similarities with DNA structure, but they have several specific differences. A. Pentose. The sugar in RNA is ribose, in contrast to deoxyribose in DNA, where sugar is pentose. Pyrimidine. RNA contains the pyrimidine uracil in place of thymine in DNA. So purine pyrimidine pairs and pentose sugar arrangement is as such in RNA and DNA. Here ribose sugar is here deoxyribose sugar is there. Here uracil is there in RNA, thymine is in there in DNA. So these are the differences. Third difference is that RNA is single stranded and DNA is double stranded. RNA is usually a single stranded polynucleotide. However, this strand may be folded at certain places to give a double stranded structure if complementary base pairs are in close proximity. So this is about the RNA. Chargaff's rule is that not obeyed. Chargaff's rule not obeyed. Why? Because due to the single-stranded nature, there is no specific relation between purines and pyrimidines contents. So there is no Chargaff's rule obeyed. Thus, the guanine content is not equal to cytosine as that what present in the DNA, and therefore this single-stranded cannot obey the order. Susceptibility to alkali hydrolysis. Alkali can hydrolyze RNA to 2' to 3' cyclic diesters. This is possible due to presence of a hydroxyl group at 2' position. DNA cannot be subjected to alkali hydrolysis due to lack of this group, and therefore susceptibility is there to alkali hydrolysis. Orsinol color reaction. RNA can be histologically identified by orsinol color reaction due to the presence of ribose sugar, and this is the biochemical test. Next, types of RNA. RNA are of three types, or three major types of RNA are found. First is mRNA or messenger RNA. These are 5 to 10%. tRNA or transfer RNA. These are 10 to 20%. And then rRNA or ribosomal RNA. These are 50 to 80%. And all these are playing a key role in protein synthesis or synthesis of ingredients, major ingredients. Besides that, the three RNAs referred above, other RNAs are also present in the cells, and these include heterogeneous nuclear RNA, hnRNA, small nuclear RNA, snRNA, small nuclear nucleolar RNA, and small cytoplasmic RNA, scRNA. The major functions of these RNA are as under. What are the types of? So hnRNA, heterogeneous RNA, small nuclear RNA, snRNA, small nucleolar RNA, snORNA, small cytoplasmic RNA, scRNA. So these are the other types than the mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. So these are the three types. So what are the roles, what are the functions of these all RNA groups? We will see one by one. Types of RNA, then abbreviations used to this RNA, and functions. So messenger RNA is identified or abbreviated by mRNA, and its function is to transfer genetic information from genes to ribosome to synthesize the proteins. Means in protein synthesis they carry the genetic information to the ribosomes. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA is abbreviated as hnRNA, and it serves as precursor for mRNA and other RNAs. Transfer RNA known as tRNA or transfer RNA, they play a role in transfer of amino acid to messenger RNA in the process of protein synthesis. Ribosomal RNA also plays a key role in protein synthesis and are abbreviated as rRNA and provides a structural framework for ribosomes. Small nuclear RNA, snRNA, involved in mRNA processing. Small nuclear RNA, snORNA, plays a key role in the processing of rRNA molecules. Small cytoplasmic RNA involved in the selection of proteins for export. Then transfer messenger RNA, tmRNA, are mostly present in bacteria, adds short people tags to protein to facilitate the degradation of incorrectly synthesized proteins. So this is also a specialized role of tmRNA. The RNAs are synthesized from DNA and are primarily involved in the process of protein biosynthesis. The RNAs vary in their structure and function. A brief description on the major RNAs is given. So if we will discuss the detailed role of RNA, then it will be a more explanatory or more justification is there. But in brief, we can say that they play a key role in protein synthesis. Very simple. Now we will see one by one the roles of RNA, different RNAs. First, messenger RNA or mRNA. The mRNA is synthesized in the nucleus in eukaryotic cells, especially as heterogeneous nuclear RNA, hnRNA. hnRNA on processing liberates the functional mRNA, which enters the cytoplasm to participate in protein synthesis. mRNA has high molecular weight with a short half-life. The eukaryotype mRNA is capped at the 5' terminal end by 7-methylguanosine triphosphate. It is believed that this cap helps to prevent the hydrolysis of mRNA by 5' exonucleases. Further, the cap may be also involved in the recognition of mRNA for protein synthesis. The 3' terminal end of mRNA contains a polymer of adenylate residues 20 to 250 nucleotides, which is known as poly-A tail. This tail may provide stability to mRNA besides preventing it from the attack of 3' exonucleases. mRNA molecules often contain certain modified bases such as 6-methiadenylate in the internal structure. So this is the structure of mRNA 5' to 3' that we have seen here, 5' to 3', but the 5' terminal end and 3' terminal end have two different codons. Initiation codons are AUG and termination codons are UAA. So these are the pairs of codons which are responsible for the binding with other RNA with amino acids and other groups to form the protein or to code specific synthesis in the role of mRNA from 5' to 3' end. This is the basic and structure of mRNA. Now tRNA, this is the structure of tRNA, U-pin-like structure. Transfer RNA, or we can also call it soluble RNA, sRNA. tRNA is also known as sRNA. tRNA molecule contains 71 to 80 nucleotides. Mostly 75 is definitive, with a molecular weight of about 25,000 Dalton, we can say. There are at least 20 species of tRNA corresponding to 20 amino acids present in protein structure, and the structure of tRNA for alanine was first elucidated by Holly. The structure of tRNA depicted in figure, so this is the figure, resembles that of a clover leaf. The structure is like a clover leaf. tRNA contains mainly 4 arms, 1, 2, 3 and 4 arms. Each arm with a base paired stem. Base pair stem. These are the base pairs arranged on each stem. The acceptor arm, there are 3 arms. Acceptor arm, DHU arm or loop, anticodon loop and variable loop, or we can say this one is TYC loop. So the acceptor arm is at the upper side, which is at the 3' end, and another is at the 5' end. So at the 3' end, the tRNA structure shows initiation ACC codon, and you see here the acceptor arm, this arm is capped with a sequence CCA, 5' to 3' CCA and 3' to 5' ACC. 5 dash to 3 dash. The amino acid is attached to the acceptor arm. So here amino acid is attaching to this. So amino acid attachment side is the acceptor arm. We can say simply. This is anticodon side. Suppose here is ACC, then it will be TGG, means the base pairing is, because adenine is some ACC, adenine is attached to thymine, cytosine is attached to guanine, and therefore TGG will be the codons for this anticodon site, or therefore it is called as anticodon loop. And this is the structure of tRNA. The anticodon arm, this is anticodon arm. The anticodon arm, this arm with the 3 specific nucleotide bases, that is anticodon, is responsible for the recognition of triplet codon of mRNA. The codon and anticodon are complementary to each other because they needs to match the pairing. The D arm is it is so named due to the presence of dihydrouridine. Therefore, it is also called as D arm. You can see in the figure that this is a D arm. The T and C arm, this arm contains a sequence of T pseudouridine represented by psi. This is the symbol of psi, and C. The variable arm, this arm is the most variable in tRNA. Based on this variability, tRNAs are classified into 2 categories. Class 1 tRNAs and class 2 tRNAs. In class 1 tRNA, the most predominant, about 75%, form with 3 to 5 base pairs length. And class 2 tRNA, they contain 13 to 20 base pairs long arm, and therefore they are of 2 different. So 3 to 5 base pairs and 13 to 20 base pairs. Therefore these arms have different structure. Now the base pairs in tRNA are, the structure of tRNA is maintained due to the complementary base pairing in the arms. The 4 arms with their respective base pairs are as given below. The acceptor arm, 7 base pairs can bear. The T, psi, C arm have 5 base pairs. The anticodon arm have 5 base pairs, and the D arm have 4 base pairs. Means these are the total 21 base pairs are attached here by these 4 sites, and these are the capacity to attach the different codons or anticodons base pairing. So this is about today's lecture. So we will see the next in the next time. Till then we will have a break here. Next lecture will be explaining the next period.